Seema, your trainer once again. Well, what am I going to teach you today? I'm going to teach you to speak like a native English speaker, which means that this video is for all of you. Now, a lot of people tell me that they don't really sound like a native English speaker. And do you know why? Because they don't know how to pronounce words properly. So let me tell you, if you know how to pronounce words properly, you will sound like a native English speaker. But the problem is that nobody in English class has ever taught you pronunciation. So I'm going to help you understand that pronouncing words properly relates to syllable stress, which means if you know which syllable to stress in the word, you are going to be able to pronounce that word properly. So I've got a list of all the rules pertaining to syllable stress, and after we learn the rules, we will then go through a passage to see how much you've learned. So it is important that all of you stay with me through the entire video. Okay, so let's learn the rules and then see how we can apply that, right? Okay, so let's go ahead with understanding syllable stress. But wait a minute, what is a syllable? Okay, let me tell you. Every word has 1, 2, 3, or maybe 10 parts, depending on how big the word is. So every part of a word is called a syllable. But now the question is, how do I know how many syllables or how many parts a particular word has? Okay, let's try this little exercise. What's my name? Seema, right? When I say this word, which is my name, let me put my hand below my chin and say it like that. Seema. How many times do you think my chin dropped? Let's say again. Seema. 2 times, right? There you go. So my word, my name, which is a word obviously, has got 2 syllables. That's how you will know exactly how many parts or how many syllables one word has. Okay? So let's move quickly to understanding syllable stress. Now, if we have a word which has got 2 syllables, and if that noun happens to be, and if that word happens to be a noun or an adjective, then you will stress on syllable number 1. Let me repeat. If the word has got 2 syllables, which means your jaw drops twice while you say it, and if that 2-syllable word happens to be a noun, which could be a name, place, animal, or a thing, and or if it happens to be an adjective either, which is a word to describe a noun. Then you will stress syllable number 1. Let's see the example. We have a word like contest. Let me say this word properly. Let's see if it is really a 2-syllable word or not. So, contest. Well, that is definitely a 2-syllable word, and a contest means a competition, right? So, because it is a 2-syllable word and because it is a noun, I am going to stress syllable number 1. So, I will say contest. I can't say contest if I'm talking about this word in the context of a noun. Okay? The next word is record. Not record, but record. You need to keep a good record. So again, this is a 2-syllable word. It is a noun, and therefore I don't say record. I stress the first syllable which is this part, and I say record. We have another word, which is rainy. This is obviously an adjective because it will describe a noun. Okay, so if I say, this is a rainy day, I can't say this is a rainy day. It's rainy. Okay, so that's again where I stress on syllable number 1. Okay, is that easy? Okay, let's now move on to understanding something very important here. If we're talking about a 2-syllable word, and if that 2-syllable word now happens to be a verb, which is an action, or a preposition, words like in, on, between, among, of, etc., then even though it is a 2-syllable word now, you are now going to stress syllable number 2. Okay? I'll repeat that again for those who did not understand it the first time. Okay. If we are now looking at a 2-syllable word, and if that word is a verb, which is a word that talks about an action, or if that is a preposition, then you are going to stress syllable number 2, which means a word like this, which is an action, I won't stress this syllable. No, that's not right. You're going to stress syllable number 2, and you're going to say receive. I can't say receive. That's wrong. You'll say, I need to receive. I'm going to receive a gift. Okay, so that's how you say it because it's a verb. It talks about an action. It's a 2-syllable word because it goes receive, right? So you'll say receive. Okay, then we've got a preposition, which again is a 2-syllable word, right? So I will say between. We're stressing syllable number 2 again, between. And then we've got another word, which is present. I'm stressing this word, this syllable, which is the zent part, and I say present. Now let me tell you something very interesting. Okay, this word can also be used as a noun. Did you know that? So let's say, if I'm talking about this as a noun, I will then stress on the first syllable, and I will say present. Present as in a gift, you know. I get a Christmas present. I cannot say I get a Christmas present. But if I'm using this word as an action, I will say, let me present a new topic. So I get a Christmas present because it's a noun which is of 2 syllables, but I'm going to present a new topic for all of you because it is a 2-syllable word which is a verb. Is that a little easier now? So you've got to be very careful because some words can be a noun and a verb, you know, like an adjective and a verb. So you've got to be a little careful. But don't worry, with practice, you will be good. Okay then, shall we move on? Let's go to what happens if we use a 3-syllable word. Well, you might think it's a little complicated, right? No, it's not. It's really simple. Now, if you have 3-syllable words, which means if your jaw drops 3 times when you say the word, and if that 3-syllable word ends with an ER or an LY, then you are going to stress syllable number 1. So let's look at some words. Manager. Okay, let's understand the syllable stress here. 3 syllables. Ja. 3-syllable word. But I'm going to stress syllable number 1 because apparently this word ends with an ER. So I know a lot of students who say, the manager told me. The manager told me to come early. That's wrong. You will say, the manager instructed me to come on time. The manager, because again, it's a 3-syllable word ending with an ER. Okay, we have another word which is silently. 3 syllables, silently, which means this word, which is 3 syllable, ends with an ly, and therefore I will stress on the first syllable, which is sigh, and I will say, I was sleeping silently. Not silently, I was sleeping silently. Okay then, what happens if now you have a 3 syllable word, but if that 3 syllable word ends with a Y or a consonant, what do? You again stress syllable number 1. That was a mistake. Syllable number 1. So, look at this word. It's a word which has got 3 syllables. The word is clarity. Clarity. 3 syllables? Sure? Good. And this word ends with a Y, which means I'm going to stress syllable number 1 and say clarity. Please give me some clarity, not clarity or clarity. It's clarity. Okay then. Now, if you have a 3 syllable word which ends with a Y or a consonant is anything apart from A, E, I, O, U. So if it's a 3 syllable word and if it ends with a consonant, you are going to again stress syllable number 1. Let's look at the word again. Generous. 3 syllables, right? So you will say generous. You can't say generous. That's wrong. You are a generous man. You're not a generous man. You're a generous man, right? So these are the rules related to words having 2 syllables and words having 3 syllables, which are the most common words spoken in the English language. So please practice these words. But what about practicing right now? Okay, so I have got this passage that I've written especially for you so that we can check how much you've understood. Okay, so we're going to read that and see if we are applying all these rules properly. Okay, so read with me. The man gave the children a present. The children were told to present themselves orderly. This man is always generous. If you record his kind deeds, you won't be able to keep a record. Notice what I did here. If you record his kind deeds, you won't be able to keep a record. That's why we believe, not believe, but believe in living lovingly. As you can see, both these words are similar, but over here this happens to be a noun, over here it happens to be a verb, and therefore the pronunciation changes. So, the man gave the children a present. The children were told to present themselves orderly. A 3-syllable word, you're stressing syllable number 1 because it ends with a Y. The man is always generous. If you record, this is a verb. So you're stressing syllable number 2. If you record his kind deeds, you won't be able to keep a record. Over here, record refers to a noun, and therefore you say record, record. That's why we believe, not we believe, but we believe in living lovingly. Okay? Well, I hope you found this lesson really interesting because I'll tell you what, pronunciation is so much fun if you know the rules. Because if you know the rules, you are going to be really good at speaking like a native English speaker. So I've got syllable stress part number 2 coming up. This is only the first part. So stay tuned for part number 2. And I'll be back with some more lessons. Until then, this is me saying bye.